Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Welcome to another episode of Sit Down Sunday. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe it is episode 6. Yeah, we're not in the house. We're actually outside. This is actually my favorite spot in my apartment. It's a nice area. It's outside, beautiful trees, and it's a gorgeous day. So I definitely had to come out and do this Sit Down Sunday. So last week I did a couple videos, and I had a few people chime in. And I did ask in my video, if you have anything that you want me to talk about, leave it in the comment down below. Now, someone chimed in. Now, I know this woman she's a good friend. And big shout out to her. I won't say her name because I didn't ask if I could, blast her or whatever. But she left the most amazing comment in what she wanted to talk about this Sit Down Sunday. So let me read it to you. This is what she wrote. Why is it the majority of people in poverty love to spend the most money instead of learning different ways of saving money, then channel those savings into the next level, meaning next level like a business, possibly getting their family out of poverty, so on and so forth. So let me just read it one more time to you guys. Why is the majority of people in poverty the ones that love to spend the most money instead of learning different ways of saving the money and then channel those savings into the next level, meaning a business or pulling their whole family up or, putting other people on? Now, I instantly chimed in. I should have called her, but I never did. I said, you got it. That's what I'm going to talk about. So I'm only going to do one video today because I have to go to work later. But I thought that was amazing because what I think I talked about last Sunday was what are you going to do with your taxes? Because I know a lot of people that have multiple children, some don't, but they get like between $2, $5, $3, $6, $7, $10,000 back in taxes. And it always boggles my mind. 2 months later or a month later, all the money's gone. It's like, how do you float through that much money? What is your mindset? You don't have a job. Some people are working, some are not. But you just got that big lump sum of money. And then a month later, you've already blown through it. What did you spend it on? What were your spending habits? Did you spend it on anything that could possibly better your family or build you something that could get you like to the next level and or, keep generating money? So I really kind of sat down and pondered what I was going to say. So I'm going to start with this, you guys. First of all, thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe. Hit the notification button. And if you want to share this video, please share this video. I'm going to start with this, you guys. Can I be bold with you? I hope you said yes, because I'm going to do it anyway. Literally, I think with this question being asked, why is it the majority of people in poverty love to spend money? Well, I think that sometimes it's a mindset, the way they were raised. Also, I think it has to do with maybe, and these are just my opinions, I'm not a doctor. I always like to say I'm not a financial advisor. These are all my opinions. I do understand the difference between facts. Facts are facts and opinions are opinions. Let me say that one more time. Facts are facts, just like numbers don't lie, and opinions are opinions. These are my opinions. If it resonates with you, leave a comment down below. If you disagree, that's fine. We can go back and forth, debate. Of course, I'm not going to argue with anybody. You hit me with your facts, I hit you with my facts, or my opinions. They have something to prove. I instantly did think, soon as she put that in the comment down below, this book came to mind, you guys, and I'm going to explain this book. I've talked about this book before. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Now, this isn't my original book. I've had this book. I've had like probably maybe 5 or 6 copies of this book. And look, I went to the thrift store many years ago. Let me see if it'll focus. And I bought this one for 50 cents. I used to buy this book and hand it out to people. Like if I was vibing with somebody, if we were talking about business. Now, I've had this book for over, not this book, but this book for over like 10 years, comfortably. Over 10 years. A good friend of mine actually introduced it to me while we worked together. We were co-workers at Whole Foods. And he has actually quite a few books. And the reason why I like this book, I'm going to read it. Okay, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What the rich teach their kids about money that the poor and middle class do not. Now, as I did my research, and I'm always trying to learn something, I'm not going to say I know a lot. I think I know some things, but I'm constantly reading and wanting to find out what the rules of the games are. So the game is. So if you don't know the rules, you can't play the game, meaning business wise, money wise, so on and so forth. Now I'm going to be bouncing around. Hopefully, you guys know I always circle back around. But with that being said, this book, just briefly, what Robert was talking about is he had his dad, right? And his dad was the poor dad. Then he had a rich dad, which was a wealthy businessman. And his poor dad would always tell him, go to work for somebody else, right? And make money and save all your money. His rich dad said basically, why work when you could have basically other people working for you and having your money work for you, correct, right? And then enjoy life. Just in a nutshell, you have to read the book. And if you don't like reading, I've always said this, when I meet people, I ask them if they like to read, and if they say no, I kind of just stray from them. I love people that read. Even if you're not a big reader, you can definitely listen to audiobooks. You can just go to YouTube. You're on YouTube right now watching me. You go on YouTube and you type in whatever the book title is, and there's someone there reading the book to you. So as you're maybe at the gym, you're just driving, whatever the case may be, you could be listening to this audiobook, gaining some knowledge. Okay, so with that being said, why do they spend the money? They spend the money frivolously because maybe they never had money, or no one's ever taught them how to use money. Meaning, if you on a Tuesday you didn't have $1,000, and then next week you have $1,000, do you go out and buy brand new shoes? And I'm just giving like kind of loose examples. Do you go out and spend it on like frivolous stuff, a big screen TV, or shoes, toys, trips, and stuff like that? Or do you take that money and put it into something that can bring you more money? Meaning, like some people, I do not claim to know anything about the stock market. My father does, but I do not. I decided not to go down that road. I do like to read charts and stuff like that to see what the next trends are and stuff like that. But I can't remember, don't quote me on this. I can't believe if it might have been Warren Buffett said, if you don't know, what is it? If you don't know how to play the game, then don't play it. Or if you don't know what's going to happen next, something to that effect. So basically you say, if there's something that you don't understand, which of course you need to go out there and you can learn it. But I don't claim to know anything about the stock market for the simple fact that I think it's all rigged. So you might think you're doing something good over here, and then next thing you know, you lose all your money. But anyways, off that subject, I want to go to another part of it. Okay, so she goes, instead of learning different ways of savings, then channel those savings into the next level, meaning a business or building generational wealth. Well, easy. I referenced this book. I think it's mindset again, but then I also think it's the way you were taught, the way you were raised. If you live in a family where someone's always telling you, save your money, save your money, save your money, don't spend your money, do this. Now, do I believe it's good to have savings? Absolutely, because I think I mentioned this in a video before, that the majority of people right now are living paycheck to paycheck, and they don't have, it was at one point 500, but now I think it's went down to 400. Go ahead and do your own due diligence and look it up. The average person does not have $400 in disposable cash, meaning like say the tires went out on your car, or something happened with your car, or there was an accident in your family, or you know, someone threw a football through or baseball through your window and you have to fix it, stuff like that. They couldn't even do it because they don't have any disposable savings. Do I think it's important to have savings? Absolutely. But then at the same time, I think that saving your money and hoarding it, one, you can't take it with you. And what I'm starting to learn, especially just in the last 2 years, 2019 to 2020, I'm trying to build wealth for the next generation. So if you have children, you have to really think about them. It's like, what are you teaching them financially to help them navigate in the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, depending, you know, how old your children are. Do you ever just sit down and think about your children and say, I wonder what they're going to be doing in 5 years or 10 years? I mean, I think the average person, and this is just my opinion, does not do that. They'd be like, okay, how will my child survive? Like, for example, if something was to happen to you as the parent, how would your child survive financially? Are they equipped in knowing how to just navigate, like literally live day to day? Do you get what I'm saying? Because I would say, average teenager or young adult that you have that are your children, they don't even grasp not all, some, I will say, possibly not the poor or the middle class, but the rich do. They don't even understand the operation of day-to-day finances, meaning like who's going to pay the rent. Like if something was to happen to me, would my son know how to pay rent? What would his next step be? You know, stuff like that. I think it is all in how you teach your children or teach yourself or how you were raised. I'm kind of getting off subject and I'm all over the place, but I'm just really trying to get my words together because there's a couple things that I really would like to say, but I know it'll probably offend somebody. But I did say in the beginning, can I be bold with you guys? Literally, it's a mindset. I'm tired of people sitting there saying, well, they, quote unquote, there's obstacles in my way. Someone's doing this to me. Okay, I've always said, not always, but I've been saying for a while, once you see what the problem is, what is the solution? So if they are doing all these different things, what is the solution? For example, we're talking about, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, Aisha, but I can't because of this. Okay, well, what is the problem? Okay, so we found out what the problem is. Okay, this person, this rule, this regulation, whatever the case may be. I don't know if you want to start a business, you want to buy a car, I don't know, you want to move, whatever the case may be. You figure out what the problem is. What is the solution? There's only so many times you can use that, not necessarily excuse, but they are in my way. They don't want to tell you. Well, you know what? A lot of stuff is in books if you would just read it. I do understand because I actually just had a conversation with two women, actually, both business owners. And we just had one I just had met, and one I already knew, and she's a boss. And then the other one, she's a boss also, but she was telling me, you know, getting started. And I think she said next month, March, will be her 1-year anniversary of starting her business. And now she just wants to grow the business. She's already established, but now she wants to grow and flourish. And it's very hard in the community, meaning women, or if you want to go ethnic, I'm black, as you can see, you know, women or black women or whatever the case may be. Okay, so if you're of another race watching this, I mean, like, so if you're a woman, there's one group, sometimes we're catty, we don't like to share. You can go men against women, whatever the case may be. A lot of people don't like to share information. They feel for some reason, and once again, this is just my opinion, that, okay, so she has her own business and I have my own business, but if I tell her this loophole or this game changer that, you know, just came down, this new law that they made where she can get a kickback of $5,000 if she goes down this path, she would be competing with me. And I'm like, I'm so tired of competing. I don't want to compete with other people. I want to build with other people. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, okay, so if you know something that could possibly help me in my business and make me go to the next level, why wouldn't you think that I wouldn't turn around? Well, I know why, but turn around and take you with me. I think we've really gotten lost. There's so much competition. Nobody wants to share the information. Like, hey, okay, this is how you start a business. And I am definitely going to do that, you guys. Walk you step by step. Yesterday I went to sit down with somebody and they were breaking some stuff down to me. But since they're in a different avenue of building a business versus where I'm at, I still learned a lot, actually, but it didn't kind of mesh with what I was doing, but I still learned a lot. But we actually sat down for less than an hour and I asked all the questions that I wanted to ask, and this person, as an accountant and as a business owner, sat there and just broke stuff down to me. I said, hey, how do you do this? Okay, and I actually took notes. I had a notepad and I was taking notes, and I said, okay, that's excellent. I said, I've already did that and I went this path. Do I take that? Is some of the answers, some of the questions they didn't know, which was okay. You know, not everybody doesn't know everything, but I did gain some valuable information just within that 1 hour sitting down with that particular person. And I think that's really important, because with this other woman, she said now that she's at a point where she just wants to flourish and grow, it's hard because to find information. Now, what she didn't know is she inspired me because she had and we talked for less than an hour. She has a brick and mortar. She actually has a standing business, and I went in there and we were talking, and she inspired me so much because she had did something, a step that I had not done, and I asked her about it, and you know what she did? She told me, and she broke it down how she did it and how it goes. I actually asked her, and I said it, and I started the question off like this. I said, I don't want to know the inner workings of your company. I don't want to know your distributors. I don't want to know anything. I said, but I do have a question. How does this work? If you were to go, and I'm not giving up too much information, meaning like her business. I said, if you wanted to buy these particular products, do you go ahead and tell them that you want this piece, or you know, this many pieces, and then they bill you later? She goes, nope. When soon as you get there and you decide you want those pieces, you pay right then and there, and then comfortably a week and a half to 2 weeks your product comes in. Now, that's not how it always works, but with this particular place and thing that she was doing, that's how it worked there, and I was very curious about it. And actually, I'll just tell you, it was the magic show, and I said, interesting. And so then we went in and we started talking a little bit about some other things, and just talking with her hour, she inspired me, and I learned, there was like 5 new things that I actually learned business-wise of what avenues to take, what not to do, what to do, what you could hit, meaning like roadblocks that you could hit while you're doing business. We talked a lot about taxes and whatnot. Okay, so let me circle back. So with that being said, why is the majority of people in poverty love to spend money? Because you know what? They never had money. Can I say that? That could be also it. Because they never had money. Me, myself, I can burn through some money real quick. But I've also, even now, sometimes I get money and I look around, I'll just say, for example, $1,000 for whatever reason. And then I'll just 2 days ago by, and I'm like, what did I just do with this $1,000? And it just blows right through my hand. No one's perfect, but as you start to learn the rules and align yourself with people that are like-minded, and when I talked to this particular businesswoman on, I do believe it was Friday, I kept saying, I do believe she kept saying, like-minded is very important. Now, when you meet somebody, especially if you're like in a certain business and you know you want to go down that path, and you meet somebody else that's already doing it, or they're going down their path also, and you start meshing and you're like vibing, I'm like, yes. And then we kept saying like-minded, and I said, I was just about to say, but I want to be very careful with my words. It's so hard to find like-minded people. I don't think it is. I'm a homebody. I'm like a hermit. I literally stay in the house. I know for 2020, I need to get out more. I need to network more. I need to go out and meet people. Because no one's, while I'm taking my multiple naps at home, no one's going to just pop up at my doorstep and say, hey, I got a business opportunity for you. It doesn't happen like that. So I know I need to get out and network more and meet more like-minded people. With that being said, also I think it could be your environment. So with my friend that left the comment, why don't they channel those savings into the next level? It could also be, just my opinion, your environment. Now, I don't want you to use your environment. Well, I was raised in the hood, or I came from a poor family, I did this, I did that. You know what, that I'm not saying that's an excuse, but once you rectify, okay, oh, I came from a poor family. Okay, next. You told me that 6 years ago you came from a poor family. What's next? What's the next step? But then I think that's important to align. That's where like-minded and people that are goal-oriented and they want to do something with their lives, you know, build a business or build generational wealth, that's where it's important. Because if you're just sitting around, what is that old saying? And I've done this meme a few times. You can't work with or be with or do business with somebody that's never been off the block. And then that old saying, well, my day ones, that comes in. You know what? I'm done with that. Your day ones are your day ones, that's fine. But sometimes when you start moving to different levels, you got to pick and choose. Not necessarily who's coming with you, or maybe that is correct, who's coming with you, because not everybody can go. I mean, you might not have the same goals. So like, for example, if your goal is to build a multi-million-dollar business, are you really gonna, as you start climbing up the ladder, are you really gonna still kick it with that person that's still on the block, that doesn't have a job? All they want to do is get high all day, or drink, or shoot the shit on the corner, or at their friend's house, or just kick it, sit home, watch TV all day? You can't. I mean, I'm asking the question. Please leave a comment down below. That might sound very harsh, but sometimes things need to be said. It's like not everybody can go. You want that. You might try to put them, and that's another thing. You could try to put people on, be like, okay, look, check this out. With your, for example, your tax money. Oh, wow, you about to get $6,000 back. What are you about to do with that? Oh, you're about to do that? Okay, that. Hey, well, you know what? I noticed you've been watching me for a little bit. Instead of, going on that trip, or, wasting all your money on TVs or fancy jewelry or whatever the case may be, why don't you go ahead and open up your own business? Or you remember that idea you had that as a kid, you wanted to sell t-shirts, or you wanted to, I don't know, start your own skincare company, whatever the case may be. Why don't you do that? Do you know how, and I won't say it's hard, and I won't say it's easy. It's a process. It's definitely a process. But do you know, little by little, you can do little things. You can get your business license over here, okay? You want an LLC later on down the road, so you put money aside for that. Now, see, I can see you saving money for stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? But I know you must use money to invest it within yourself. Because I ask people sometimes, I said, what is the best investment? And some people say, oh, stocks, property. No, the best investment is yourself. You you are a person. You are your best investment. Do you get what I'm saying? You are your best investment. So I just really think when it comes down to it, you guys, if you get a chance, read this book or listen to it audio. What the rich teach their kids about money that the poor and middle class don't. And it's a really great book. I think he said in the book, it's been a while since I've read it, that he didn't make the book until I think his father passed away. Don't quote me on that, because he didn't want to offend his father, but he had a poor father that gave him not such great advice, and then he had a rich dad that was very wealthy, and he ended up taking his advice, and now I guess him and his wife, Robert Kiyosaki and Kim Kiyosaki, are like multi-millionaires to this day. It's what you teach, what you've been taught. And some stuff that you've been taught, you can be untaught and learn, by reading and align yourself with other people, a different path to go down. Now, everybody has their own different path, but, I just can't get with anymore. It's 2020. People are making moves, and, you can only do so much watching on social media, meaning Instagram, here on YouTube, Facebook. How much watching are you going to do of other people build a business or build a brand or a label or something that you admire, and not take that leap and do it yourself? So I tell people sometimes, I'm like, so what's your next step? You've been watching, you've been strategizing. Take that leap. You're definitely worth it. Take the leap. You only fail if you don't try. Well, Aisha, I started this business and it failed. Okay, but look at all the knowledge you gained how to start a business. You started a business, it failed, or it didn't do well. You never failed because you actually did it. You know how many people probably are out there that want to do the same thing you did, and don't do it day in, day out for years, months, decades. So you started a business, it didn't do well. Now start another business. I'm just saying, you got the knowledge, go ahead and do it. So once again, let me read this. Why is it the majority of people in poverty love spending money? It's possibly because they never had money before, and it makes them feel good. It fills a void. And then the second part, instead of learning different ways of saving, well, they weren't taught. Simply put, they weren't taught. No one's taught them how to make money and then make the money work for them. I like that. A lot of people have not been taught how to make money and make that money work for them. I'm not saying I'm up here, but keep watching my YouTube channel. I'm just going to keep dropping little gems. And I just said this the other day to actually my manager at my job, and I told her dead to her face, because I tell her quite often. I said, boy, I can't wait to quit. She just says, man, Aisha, when you quit, I'm going to be, you know, all upset. And I said, and I looked at her, I said, wouldn't it be funny if like 6 months from now I became like a multi-millionaire, and then you're just sitting there watching me on TV or whatever, doing an interview, and you just laugh and be like, I actually know Aisha. She was a straight at work. And then we both laughed. I'm just saying, everything's a teaching process, and I think a lot of people just have not been taught what real money is. That's a whole nother subject, but how to make their money work for them, basically. So with that being said, the kids, as you can see, are playing out here. I'm in their space. I think we're gonna end this video. I hope I gave a little bit of value. You guys know I ramble, but this is the only video I'm giving out today, you guys. Have an amazing day and get inspired. All right, bye guys.